Welcome back, focused learners, to another explainer. So today we're tackling something that, let's be real, pretty much every single one of us has struggled with at some point. We're going to dive right into how to transform conversation from this massive source of dread and anxiety into a highly learnable and highly effective skill. Because, you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? You meet someone totally new, or maybe someone you only kind of know, and you go through the standard robotic script. Hey, how are you? What do you do? Which team are you on? And then nothing. Just dead, painful silence. It is a universally relatable moment, and honestly, it's just agonizing. Just think about these specific, totally panic-inducing scenarios for a second. Work events, weddings, random parties, being stuck next to that distant cousin you haven't seen in literally a decade. We're trying to talk to a stranger at a bar who you'll probably never see again. In these settings, that silence gets so loud that we all secretly just want to pull out our phones and pretend we have some super important text to answer just to escape the awkwardness. But what if I told you that you never had to do that again? Well, here's our clear 6-step roadmap for today's explainer to conquer this social anxiety together. 1. The dreaded awkward pause. 2. Conversation is a skill. 3. Ask intentional questions. 4. Listen actively, don't wait. 5. Dig for common ground. And 6. Embrace silence and curiosity. Let's get right into it. Starting with number 1, the dreaded awkward pause, the root of social anxiety. Moving on to step 2, conversation is a skill. Remember, you aren't broken, you're just untrained. You see, through years of awkward trial and error, a really fascinating truth starts to emerge. If you struggle to talk to people, you are not inherently antisocial. You aren't permanently broken. Let's just go ahead and bust a widespread myth right here and now. Good conversation does absolutely not require you to be naturally born with unshakable confidence. It's a learnable skill. Think about it like playing an instrument, or maybe learning how to write well. You wouldn't expect to just sit down at a piano and play perfectly without ever practicing, right? Conversation is exactly the same thing. It requires observation, a bit of failure, and lots of practice. All right, part 3. Ask intentional questions, which is really all about taking control of the flow. So here's the secret. Every single conversation is simply a chain of questions and answers. And the person asking them, they're the one controlling the direction. Imagine someone says to you, "I went golfing over the weekend." And you just reply with, "Oh, that's cool." Boom. The conversation completely falls into this dead-end void. But what if you intentionally ask, "Oh, where do you usually play?" Or "Do you play competitively?" Even if you don't actually care about golf at all, intentional follow-up questions create this genuine feeling of interest. They keep the chat alive, and they literally give you the steering wheel to guide where things go next. Number 4, listen actively, don't wait. This is how you start getting real material to work with. Now, a lot of people believe that to be better at talking, you just need to, talk more. But the complete opposite is true. You actually need to listen more. There's this quote that hits really heavy here. Most people don't listen with the intent to understand, they listen with the intent to reply. Think about that. When you're just frantically preparing your next clever line in your head, just waiting for your turn to speak, you miss the context completely. You miss the subtle emotions. And then, inevitably, you end up blurting out something totally random or weirdly off topic. Active listening gives you the actual real material you need to naturally formulate those great follow-up questions we were just talking about. On to step 5, dig for common ground. This is genuinely where the magic happens. It's no secret that we connect the fastest with people who share our experiences, our values, or our interests. Whether it's a shared love for a specific sports team, a certain type of music, or even just a favorite food, this common ground is the absolute golden ticket. To get to that common ground, you basically follow a logical progression of digging for clues. First, ask those intentional questions. Second, pay deep attention through active listening. And third, find the click. Now, sometimes it's super obvious right away, but other times it takes a little digging. But once you find that shared point and intentionally steer the conversation toward it, the interaction suddenly stops feeling like hard work. It instantly becomes natural, fluid, and actually genuinely fun. Which brings us to number 6, embrace silence and curiosity. Let's talk about redefining the awkward pause. Okay, let's be real for a second and normalize a really simple fact. Not every conversation is going to flow perfectly. Dead ends are absolutely still going to happen. But if we redefine the concept of silence, we realize something incredibly freeing. Silence is not a failure, it is just space. A pause in a conversation isn't some terrifying indictment of your social skills. If you can just learn to get comfortable with that quiet space, it completely removes the heavy pressure of needing this flawless, nonstop banter. It simply becomes a natural breath in the dialogue.
So ultimately, the whole shebang boils down to this. Don't be interesting. Be genuinely interested. I mean, good conversations are not built on charm. They really aren't. They aren't built on being the most charismatic, loud, or fascinating person in the room. They're built on your curiosity about others, your patience, and your presence in that specific moment.
So, I want to leave you with this final provocative thought to wrap up today's explainer. How will you apply this in your next interaction? I'm challenging you. The next time you face a stranger at a work event or, that distant cousin at a wedding, don't worry about being perfectly confident. Take these 3 methods, asking intentional questions, listening actively, and digging for common ground, and just practice being truly interested in the human being standing right in front of you. You might just be surprised by how much you actually have to say.